This is a cricket podcast.
This week it was all about Tom Latham, Martin Guptill and Ruturaj Gaikwad.
Two mates obsessed with the game.
I have written a song. It's called Here Comes Latham, to the tune of Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles.
I found a ukulele in the back of my wardrobe about 2 hours ago.
Covering all the on-field action.
Martin Guptill has signed with the Melbourne Renegades to play their full Big Bash season.
This is the Back of a Length podcast.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Back of a Length podcast. Renee here with you as always, and Mark is here.
Hi Renee, how are you?
I'm good. How are you going?
Good, I'm very well, thank you very much. Episode 7. Despite the fact that I was away for 3 weeks, it still does feel like we're rapidly rattling through these, coming up to a really important, busy period of summer, which is going to be a lot of cricket and not a lot of rain.
Hopefully no rain. We've already had a rain-affected week this week with the second ODI between New Zealand and India rained out, unfortunately. However, let's take a step back and go to the first ODI and some other big names of this week, because this week it was all about Tom Latham, Martin Guptill and Ruturaj Gaikwad.
It certainly was. As you say, cricket did return to Auckland. Feels like it's been a long time since we've had international cricket in Auckland. We had a 50-over game at Eden Park and New Zealand won the toss and put India into bat. Thoughts on that first of all?
I think it was probably a good idea. I think chasing at Eden Park is a lot easier. It is a really high-scoring ground. I think New Zealand maybe thought if they knew what to chase, they might be able to do it better. And there was also just a touch of rain around. So we know that batting second, particularly in an ODI, you know exactly what your Duckworth-Lewis system is going to be. So as you said, India went in. They set 306 for New Zealand to chase down their three openers, all scoring half century: Shikhar Dhawan, Shubman Gill and Shreyas Iyer. New Zealand came into bat in a bit of a sticky situation. 80-ish for 3 with Finn Allen and Devon Conway both going out in the 20s and Daryl Mitchell going out for 11. And then it became the Tom Latham show. Tom Latham back in international cricket. Oh, I tell you, this innings from Tom Latham was, I think it was one of the best that I've ever seen. From the sideline. Given
the stage of the game as well, it was a pretty integral innings. And we threw out a few things on Twitter earlier in the week to say that obviously this episode we were going to be discussing Tom Latham and, you know, what one word would you describe for this Tom Latham innings? Mm-hmm. And I think all of the feedback that we got are words that I wouldn't necessarily associate with a Tom Latham innings. Like, it was all about how exciting it was and fireworks and stuff like that, and we're pretty used to seeing Tom Latham be sort of like that obdurate batsman at the top of the innings, especially in test matches where swinging ball, sees the new ball off, sees the new ball bowlers off, and then he looks to try and accumulate and cash in. However, 145 not out in the ODI innings off 104 balls, and
wow,
if you think this is a wow, 5 sixes.
5 sixes.
Five sixes.
Even at Eden Park, the smallest ground, it was incredible to watch. It was just like fireworks. He played this like crazy shot off his hip that flicked it over the batsman and went over the bowler and went for 6. Like, he was just, everything was coming off for Tom Latham.
He even hit a 4 with the back of his bat. Front of his bat, he was like, nah, do you know what, I've used that enough, I'm just going to try and use the back of the bat, see if I can find the middle with that as well, and he did. Unbelievable. What an innings. And he was a bit of a shout out here, because this guy's been under a bit of fire over the last couple of months with the T20 World Cup, but he was supported by a 94 not out from Kane Williamson.
That's brilliant.
And it goes back to what we've been saying, that I think 50 over cricket suits New Zealand at the moment, while they try and unearth a few more, you know, Finn Allens, who hopefully scored a few more runs than what Finn Allen's been able to get at the moment. You need to stop calling him out, because every time you call him out, he fails. So no Finn Allen chat about how well he's going to do this week.
No Finn Allen chat.
But they do need to unearth more players like him and like Glenn Phillips and Jimmy Neesham, so that these guys can still play their innings, but then you have a selection problem where it's like, do you pick Kane Williamson? Do you pick Tom Latham? Do you pick Devon Conway? And that's a good problem to have. So yeah, he was ably supported, and New Zealand chased India down with just under 3 overs to spare, having only lost 3 wickets. So to chase 306, only losing 3 wickets, it's pretty impressive.
It was one of my favourite games I've been to. I mean, I was in the Eden Park trenches, also known as the Lower East Stand, with some friends. There with Brendan, who was, of course, our guest on episode 4 of this season. So it was just a good day out.
It sure was. And, we've not had international cricket, as we've said, for quite a while in Auckland, so to be able to have that back was pretty awesome. And we're just looking forward to getting out more often in the international cricket summer.
Yes, we sure are. Now, we can't leave this incredible Tom Latham innings there. We've run out of words to describe it. So we're going to go for a little bit of a sing-along. I have written a song. It's called Here Comes Latham, to the tune of Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles.
Yeah. I found a ukulele in the back of my wardrobe about 2 hours ago. And when you told me that you were going to do this, I thought, do you know what? I'll learn Here Comes the Sun. Mm-hmm. And I have, sort of, learned one bit. So it's not going to be amazing from my perspective. It's just going to be the same bit over and over and over and over until the song finishes. Okay.
I can't sing.
Well, just wait till you hear me play ukulele. Your singer's going to have to mask my ukulele playing.
Your ukulele playing is going to have to mask my singing. There's no way this won't go well. All right.
Oh, no, for sure. I think, we're going to be in the charts. Christmas #1, baby. Woo!
Woo! All right. For the first time ever, the debut single, Here Comes Latham. Here comes Latham. Do, 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 do. Here comes Latham, we say he's alright. Do 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 do. Century maker at the crease, we need you to stay. Century maker, can you get a better score than Conway? Do 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 do. Here comes Latham. Do 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 do.
Sorry, I went in a bit early there.
Here comes Latham, and we say he's alright. Century maker, come and play it off your hip. Century maker, guide it past the man it slip. Do 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 do. Here comes Latham. Tom Latham. Tom
I didn't realise you were at that bit already.
Tom Latham. Century maker. No, there's one more chorus. There's one more verse.
Oh, sorry, I need to scroll down. There we go. Go.
Okay, wait. Century maker, the fans have something to cheer. Century maker, getting the win over India. Here comes Latham. Do 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 do. Here comes Latham. I say he's alright. Woo!
Fantastic singing. What a job.
That's my Tom Latham song.
So you've made a Tom Latham song and we've just murdered one of the greatest bands of all time. Apologies
to the Beatles.
The 3 of the 4 remaining Beatles. I'm really scared to ask this question. Have you made any others?
Yes. Yes, I have.
No. Who have we written about? We're not going to do them yet, I would imagine. We will wait till they shine like a diamond. Maybe we should do some Rihanna ones as well. Shine bright like a diamond.
No, it's too hard. Beatles songs are easiest to... to answer your question, we have songs written.
You have songs. Sorry, don't put a we on this. You have songs. I've yet to find out whether it's something I want to be a part of.
We have songs for Tim Southey, Matt Henry, Kyle Jamieson, Finn Allen, Ish Sodhi, and Will Young.
Did you have a quiet winter? Not a lot going on?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
decided to get
I
your
did.
little pen out?
It's all part of my debut album, the Beat Caps, maybe.
Okay, you put way too much thought into this. Do you know what? When it's your birthday, I'm so tempted to book your recording studio for an hour with some professional musicians just so you can bring out the beat caps.
How much are you going to pay for auto-tune?
Well, it's going to cost me a lot. I'm going to have to work in a hell of a lot of overtime at work in order to get this sorted. But we'll make that money back in sales.
Here we go.
Hopefully. Anyway, very, very swiftly moving on from this. I bet you, if you also, I will just open this up, sorry. If you kind of want to get involved, if you think that the lyrics can be tweaked or there's a Black Caps player that you want to hear a song about, doesn't have to be the Beatles, but obviously that will go on to the second album, not the first album. So yeah, get in touch on our socials. You've got at Back of a Length with a little underscore for Twitter, and you've got at Back of a Length on Instagram, or you can follow us Back of a Length podcast on Facebook. Dear God. Anyway, moving on. Martin Guptill.
Yes, Martin Guptill in the news this week.
Yeah, we said a couple of weeks ago that you don't have to play Martin Guptill. But you don't have to hold him hostage either, or you can't hold him hostage. So you remember, over the last couple of episodes, we've been saying that Martin Guptill made the move to Australia. Took the trip to Australia. Getting ahead of myself. Breaking news. Took the trip to Australia for the T20 World Cup. Didn't get a game. Came back. Didn't get a game in the T20 series against India. Hasn't gotten a game so far in the ODI series, so he's now been released from his New Zealand cricket contract, as we told you last week. Miracle alert, I said, I bet he's going to take Liam Livingstone's spot in the Big Bash. So you recall that Liam Livingstone has pulled out from the Melbourne Renegades. And what happened?
Would you believe we've said two correct things in the past week? We said... can't hold Martin Guptill hostage, and he's going to the Renegades. And both those things have come true. Martin Guptill has signed with the Melbourne Renegades to play their full Big Bash season. Now, obviously, cricket fans have a lot of feelings about this. I'm going to land on the line. I'm absolutely stoked because I'm a Renegades fan, and the Renegades keep finishing bottom of the table, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think he's not really going to change anything. But what I would say is that, I'm actually really delighted that he's chosen to take that option. The Big Bash is a good tournament to watch, but I do wish that more New Zealanders would be involved, given that it's such a close tournament geographically. And it's the one opportunity for New Zealanders to go and make some money to set them up financially. Obviously, you've got the IPL and stuff, but Martin Guptill has been on the periphery in the IPL. He was there kind of when it started. The money wasn't as what it is these days. So for him to get a decent contract with the Melbourne Renegades, I think is a really good thing, because he is nearing retirement and does need to think about sort of life after cricket and what that looks like. So I am really happy for him. I hope he does well, apart from the times that he plays the Hurricanes.
Yes. Bloody Hurricane supporter here. What I will say is I believe under New Zealand cricket contracts that players are only able to take IPL contracts, and they get the time off from international cricket to play the IPL. But you might see a change this year with the final ODI against India being the final international cricket game before the team go to Pakistan after Christmas into a test series, and it's actually also a gap before the Super Smash starts, so you may see a few players maybe cross the ditch and get in a few cheeky Big Bash games. We have seen Sodhi do it before, we've seen Henry Nicholls do it before, so possibly that exposure's coming.
Yeah, and obviously Colin Munro's been doing it for a few years. Not that he's getting a New Zealand cricket contract, but the presence of New Zealanders in the Big Bash, it's only going to be a good thing, because again, you look at being able to play a lot of overseas tournaments and get used to different conditions, I think is a really big thing. Double world champs over here. We release our players all the time. Booyah! Look how that's gotten us. Double world champs. Whoop, 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 whoop. When I say over here, I mean me specifically, not you, because maybe one day, maybe your time will come. Yeah, Big Bash starts next week, I think it is.
Very soon.
So yeah, we will obviously keep you across that, and we'll specifically be looking out for how Martin Guptill does get on, because obviously we now have that local interest. Speaking of 2020 and being able to hit a big ball and trying to do it as many times as you can, Ruturaj Gaikwad.
Whoa! What a
It's
name. That's super familiar now.
It is. For those of you who aren't across this story yet, he became the first player to hit 7 sixes in an over. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of you are thinking, wait, that's not possible. Oh, yes, it is, my friends, because there was a no ball in there as well.
Woo.
So, Stuart Broad, step aside. You have not bowled the worst over in cricket. I can step aside as well because I think I had the second worst over in cricket. Ruturaj Gaikwad, take a bow. You have become the first ever player to do a golden shower +1.
That is what we have decided is called hitting 6 sixes in 1 over. It's called a golden shower. It hasn't quite been taken on by the ICC just yet.
Not yet. However, we are
Petition.
confident.
Yeah.
We're pretty confident that it will get traction. So if you guys do see #golden shower +1 trending on Twitter, please get it doing the rounds because we just want to be famous.
We do. We'll do anything to be famous.
Most things. You can speak for yourself on that, Renee. I will do most things to be famous. Anyway, yeah, I believe it is time to go to our usual end of podcast segment. What have you got for us this week?
It is. Well, I was inspired by Ruturaj Gaikwad, and I have created the first 11 of the worst bowling overs.
Oh, God. This is going to be interesting. I hope
Ready?
I'm not on there. I swear to God. Go.
In at 1, Shivra Singh. In at 2, William Ludick. In at 3, Anton Devsich. In at 4, Elise Perry. That was one that you nominated when we actually watched her bowl that terrible over in the women's...
that was in the was that the semi-final?
Yeah, one of the women's pool games earlier this year.
Yeah.
All right. In at 5, we have Akila Danagia. In at 6, Ben Stokes. Shame.
What? Yeah. To be fair, T20 World Cup final 2016.
Sure was. 7, Jimmy Neesham. In at 8, James Fuller. In at 9, Stuart Broad. In at 10, Dan Van Bunge. And in at 11, of course, Daryl Tuffy. 12th man, Mark Sepetowski.
I'm glad I didn't make the first 11. At least my over wasn't that bad.
It's because you're not a professional cricket player. You don't have a first class spot.
And also,
so actually, you are we only usually do first class spots, but I think in this case we made an exception.
And to be fair, it wasn't
I
an
think
over,
also
three
James
overs
Fuller.
in one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think James Fuller is also a token one in there actually because it was a nomination by a friend Kyle who said he watched his friend bowl a horrific over at sort of like Auckland grade level.
See, there's worse than me, and I'm happy with that. We're ending on a positive. Yeah, awesome episode. Thank you so much to everyone who's listened. Feel free to get in touch with us. Please don't let Renee know who it is that you want her to write songs about, unless you really enjoyed that rendition of Here Comes Latham. We are tempted to, next week after the next podcast episode, put a video together and release our first ever single. And when I say our first single, I'll be playing the ukulele, obviously, not knowing how to do it. Renee can do all of the vocals and she takes all the credit as the writer as well. That is a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Yep. Follow us on Twitter, as you say, back of a length _ Instagram at back of a length, or follow us on Facebook at back of a length podcast.
Yes, we'll bring you all the action from the final ODI of the men's series versus India, and then it is on to the White Ferns, which we will talk about next week.
With a special guest.
Yes, see you then.
Bye.